All right, so this video is all about why people are leaving the city of Temecula, California. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here in Temecula, California at Keller Williams. And this video is all about why people are moving out of Temecula. Before we get to all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Obviously, it helps me, it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you're gonna see my information either down below or at the end of the video. That's my personal cell phone number, my email. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. People that reach out all the time, happy to help point you in the right direction, give you some advice on some different areas. Or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, would love to do that. That is, it's how I earn a living. So would love that opportunity. Love to help you and your family through that. If you're making a move local here, anywhere in the Temecula Valley area, Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, anywhere in the valley here. So cool. So we'll get into the video here. Again, it's about why people are leaving Temecula, why people are moving out. And I guess I'll give the disclaimer up front. So I guess the video is a little bit of a hook. So the population in Temecula has actually stayed constant over the last about 5 years. So more or less, it's changed just about 1,000. The population has gone up 1,000, gone down 1,000 for the last 5 years or so. So it's been very, very consistent. So it's not like there's this big flood of people that are leaving and nobody is moving to replace them. For the most part, as people move out, new people move in, and that population has stayed very steady. But I did want to make this video because I do think it would be helpful. I've mentioned this in a lot of my other videos, but I have lived here locally for a really long time, so it's over 25 years now. So I think that does help me because I can give you guys some really good perspective on what it's like to actually live here, the pros and the cons. I think it's a great area. I am married. I have 2 kids. We own our home here. We are raising our kids here in Temecula. We plan to stay here for the next 20 plus years, probably forever. Our kids right now are 10 years old and 7 years old, and we are definitely rooted and we don't plan to go anywhere. For me, I think it would be super, super difficult for me to find anywhere else in the US that would be as great of an area to raise your kids in as the city of Temecula. So this is, for me, I think it's a great area, especially being a part of Southern California and being in a relatively affordable area, for what you get. So for me, I think it's hard to beat, but it is not a perfect area for everybody. I do have clients all the time that are selling their home and they're making moves out of the area, out of the city, out of the state, and for all types of different reasons. But I thought this would be helpful so you guys know what those reasons are. So maybe you can help define this search for you, decide if Temecula is going to be the right place. Again, I think it's a great area. It's where I plan to be, but it might not be the right thing for you. So hopefully this gives you some I guess a good perspective on what's going on for people. So I came out with the top 4. So the 4 major reasons that I see people leave out of Temecula and see them move out of the area. Number 1 is going to be as job location. So and this can be kind of could be several different factors, but really due to their job. So number 1 that I see that's job related is people move out of Temecula because they're tired of the commute. So if you don't know, I have a lot of other videos on it, or I'm sure you can find it out there on the internet. But the city of Temecula, it is a big suburb area. We are in Southern California. We're just north of San Diego County, but it's a big bedroom community. So what that means is most people live here and then commute out for work. So they live in Temecula and they commute to San Diego, they commute to Orange County, they commute to LA. The average commute time for somebody, they say, is about 37 minutes, but most of the people that I know, it's really closer about 45 minutes to an hour is that commute that they're gonna make each way. So if you're 45 minutes, one way, you're 45 minutes coming home, that's an hour and a half average on that commute, and if you're doing that day after day after day, 5 days a week, it can definitely really grind on you. And that is the number 1 reason that I see people leave, is because they're tired of the commute. So if you are lucky enough to where you can live here in Temecula, work remotely, or have a local job, that's a huge plus. That's going to take away really the biggest pain point for most people. But if that's not the case and you're going to make the commute, just know it's going to be a sacrifice. But for some people, it's gonna weigh on them. They can't do it anymore. They're over it, or maybe the kids have gotten older and they're gonna move somewhere closer to the job. So that's the first thing. The second thing that's job related is just going to be a new company, right? So they took a new job and they job used to be closer, and now that commute's going to be longer, or maybe it's out of the area, or maybe it's out of the city, out of the state, right? And they're just moving for the new job. So that's going to be relatively common. That's a lot of my clients as well. And then the third one that kind of goes right along with that is some type of a military transfer. So in Temecula, we have a big military population. There's several military bases in Southern California, so a lot of people will live in Temecula because it's a little more affordable than other parts of Southern California, other parts of San Diego. They live in Temecula and they commute to Camp Pendleton in the Oceanside area. They commute down to San Diego to be on base there, commute down to Miramar. And so a lot of those are military people that do that. And if you don't know, so military transfers happen anywhere every 2 to 4 years, depending on their situation. Might be a little bit longer, but they're going to have this season where them and their family are going to get moved, and that's just kind of the lifestyle that they signed up for. So that is a lot of my clients as well. They're doing some type of a military transfer where they're getting shipped out to Japan, or they're getting shipped out to North Carolina, or wherever it is that they're going. But there is such a heavy military population here where it's a factor. Like it drives our real estate market for sure. So that's number one, is job relocation. Number two is I see people that move to be closer to family. It's because so many people do relocate here. So a lot of times people live, let's say, in LA, and they grew up in the LA area, they've gotten a little bit older, they're priced out, right? It's too expensive, so they move out here to the suburbs here in Temecula for more affordable living, right? So they can still be in Southern California, and then once once the family comes, once the kids come, right, it becomes too far of a distance to be able to see their family regularly, and because it becomes too much of a strain on them. So even though it's only an hour and a half, maybe 2-hour drive, it's just too far for them on a daily basis. So to be closer to family, and I see that with people that are moving down from Northern California, and I see that from people that are moving from other states, right, where just after a period of time, it's grinding on them. They want to be closer to family, and maybe it looked good on a spreadsheet to live out here, to be in the suburbs, but in reality, it's more strain on them and their family than they want to deal with. So that's number two, is people to be closer to the family. And then number three are people that don't like the suburbs and really just think that the suburbs are too slow. So these are a lot of people that come up from the city. So maybe they live in San Diego, live in downtown San Diego, or Carlsbad, or something maybe a little bit more trendy with a little bit more nightlife, a little more happening, right? And when they come up here to Temecula, although it is a fully grown city, there's it's over 100,000 people that live here, and in the surrounding area, really it's about 500,000 people with the surrounding cities and county area. So there's a ton of shopping and malls and downtown areas and all that type of stuff. But it's still the suburbs, so there's not. If you're going to go see a concert, you're probably going to drive an hour back to the city to do that, right? If you're going to go to the beach, you're about 45 minutes, an hour back to the beach to do that, right? So if you are used to a busier lifestyle and you want to still be a part of that, living in a city, sometimes it can be a tough transition for people to come out here to the suburbs, to Temecula, and they feel it's too slow, too boring, not enough going on, right? I mean, the reality is most of the city shuts down around 10 o'clock. Some couple of places, maybe in our Old Town area, will stay open closer to midnight, and then even at midnight, like it's done. So that's just the reality of being in the suburbs. I mean, if it's me and my lifestyle, I go to bed super early, so it's not something that I necessarily mind. But when I have had clients, relocate here from busier areas, and they feel like it's quiet, and they feel like it's slow and boring. So something to pay attention to. And then number four, the fourth reason that I see people move out of the area is really they just get priced out. And the case used to be that Temecula was super affordable which it is still more affordable than some of these big cities, San Diego, LA, Orange County, right? Right now, the average home in Temecula is about $850,000, so which is definitely by no means cheap. But what you get for $850,000, you can get quite a bit. You can get a 3,000 square foot home that's big with you have your yard and some space, and probably 4 bedrooms and a loft, and indoor laundry, and you can get a really nice house, in my opinion, for that $800,000, right? But if you still got to be able to buy that, right? So what I do meet is a lot of people, especially a lot of younger people that are in their 20s or 30s, and they're trying to buy their first home, and they're not able to do that in Temecula. So because the price point has gotten so high, it used to be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 years ago. Like everything was obviously a lot less expensive, but you used to be able to, first-time buyer, this was a great area for a first-time buyer to come and buy their first home, right? And it was very affordable. Now, because pricing has gone up so much, it's really difficult. Unless you're making a really high income or you have a ton of cash, maybe being gifted a ton of cash, it can be really hard to make a down payment and have some type of an affordable mortgage, right? If you're going to buy your first home with, let's call it 5% down on an $850,000 home, I mean, your mortgage is probably going to be close to six grand a month. Somewhere, that's just off the top of my head, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's definitely not cheap by any means, and so it can be really hard. So we do see more people in Temecula that are buying their second home, or like some type of a move-up buyer, where maybe they bought a condo and for 300, 400 grand, that's appreciated, it's worth 500. They sell that, put a big down payment on that big home in Temecula, and they're able to do that. Or everyone has different situations, but that's more common where we see some type of a second home buyer. It can be really difficult for someone, just because of the price point, to buy your first home in Temecula. So because of that, I see a lot of people moving out of the area because they get priced out, right? They end up moving to Arizona or some other part of, maybe more in the desert, part of Southern California that's going to be a little more affordable, and then maybe move back here down the line. So those are the top 4 reasons that I see people moving out of Temecula. What I did not mention in all those things is really rare for me to see anybody that just didn't enjoy living here, that didn't like it, that wasn't really happy with the school district, that didn't feel like it was a really safe area, because I think all those things are true pretty much across the board. I think 99% of people would love all those things about the area, and those are the reasons that I love the city of Temecula. It's why I love living here. So there's a lot of really good. It's not going to be perfect for everybody. There's definitely going to be some downsides, and hopefully those are some things that help you guys out. So anyways, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You're going to see my phone number. You can call, you can text, you can email, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.